Rohan, you are chasing a story in Lakewood, New Jersey. It's a story that has really blown up over the past few days. More than a dozen arrests in a fraud scheme, ripping off potentially millions from the government. What do you got?
Guys, I'm in Lakewood, New Jersey, where on Monday morning, a multi-agency massive fraud sweep has resulted in the arrest of 14 individuals for theft by deception, and reports state that this investigation, it's just the tip of the iceberg. Local, state, and federal agencies began knocking on doors on Monday morning and arresting members of this large Hasidic Jewish community for what is being called the widespread abuse of public assistance programs, including Medicaid and Section 8 housing. The Ocean County Prosecutor's Office, in a press release, stated the defendants misrepresented their income, declaring amounts that were low enough to receive the program's benefits, when in fact their income was too high to qualify. Now, the 14 arrested are 7 married couples. A notable name on the list is Rabbi Sorotskin, who runs a synagogue here in Lakewood. He and his wife allegedly collected $338,000 just between the two in wrongful benefits. All arrested have been charged with second-degree theft by deception, and most have been released as of this report, pending a court date.
Thanks, Rohan. Guys, we are joined by former Morris County Prosecutor Bob Bianchi. What's your take on this? How deep does this run?
This is a multi-agency investigation from the federal level, state level, county level, agency level. I can tell you as a former prosecutor, the defendants are in for pain based upon this investigation. They have multiple charges over multiple years, significant amount of money. They're in some deep trouble.
Do you expect at this point that they're going to lean on some to turn on the others and maybe just narrow it down to get just a few of them?
The first who gets there gets the best deal. So you can be assured lawyers are making calls right now saying, hey, we'd like to come down and talk.
I know the charges aren't quite solidified yet for all of them, but how long are they looking at prison-wise?
Fraud laws in the state are different than they are in the federal government. This is why this investigation is much different than most fraud investigations, because they're actually leveraging the laws from federal and state in a way to maximize the potential of jail sentences for these defendants. A lot of fraud cases in state court, they're very labor intensive. It takes a lot of resources. And in the end, when we had somebody convicted or found guilty, they went to jail and they were out in 6 months in the intensive supervision program. And it made you wonder whether or not it's worth the investment of resources. But that's not going to happen here because they did a multi-jurisdictional approach to this. Very smart.
You know, Bob, I wonder if you encountered this. It seems to me there's been a lot of lazy reporting on this where people are painting with this broad brush, and it's fostered a lot of conversation, at least on social media, that I think are laced with a little bit of anti-Semitism. And I think it's very important to point out that you've got criminals that are separate from the Hasidic Jewish community. Too many people out there painting with this brush saying the community is in trouble, fraud throughout the community. 14 people out of a Hasidic community of more than 11,000 is not rampant.
As a person of an Italian extraction and background, they would say the same thing about the mob.
That's right.
They would say the same thing about, you know, they tend to take a small percentage of people in any group. All people commit crimes in all sorts of groups, and then they tag the entire group as potentially being involved in it, which is really a shame.
Yeah, all right. Thank you, Bob.